Hello and welcome to the urinary system part one. This first podcast is just general functions of the kidney. So if you look at the right hand side of the slide, you can see those brown sort of kidney bean shaped organs. They're the kidneys. And you can see the red vessels going into the kidneys. Of course, those are arteries, the renal artery bringing blood into the kidney, and then the renal vein takes blood away from the kidney. And then you can see those sort of yellow tubes coming out of the kidney. Those are the ureters. Of course, that's where urine empties from the kidney, travels in the ureter, and then you can see the ureters, both the right and left ureter, empty into the urinary bladder, which is that structure at the bottom of the cartoon. The kidney in general regulates its salt balance, so its physiology is concerned with salt balance. And salts can also be thought of as ions or electrolytes. So an ion then is a charged molecule like sodium or potassium. It's got a positive charge on it. Calcium has a +2 charge. Chloride ion has a negative charge. Ions, because they're positively or negatively charged, they can conduct an electric current, so therefore they are also called electrolytes. In addition to the special ions that the kidney regulates, those being sodium, potassium, calcium, hydrogen ion, and chloride ion, the kidney also regulates phosphate ions. So you can see the words on the left side of the screen, PO4 to the -3, that's phosphate ion. And then hydrogen phosphate and dihydrogen phosphate. Phosphate is an important ion that is regulated by the kidney. So because the kidney maintains electrolyte, aka salt balance, via osmosis, water follows salt. So as the kidney can retain more salt or excrete more salt, it can thus regulate the water balance. So, for example, if the kidney holds on to salt, so keeps salt from leaving via the urine, but rather holds on to the salt, keeps it into the blood, then water will follow that salt back into the blood. That will increase your blood volume. And if you remember when we were talking about blood pressure in previous lectures, as the blood volume goes, so goes the blood pressure. So if you increase the blood volume by holding on to salt and therefore bringing water into the blood, that will also increase your blood pressure. So in a sense, the kidneys regulate your blood pressure. Other mechanisms will balance the water too. Obviously, your thirst center, when you are dehydrated, your thirst center is stimulated. It causes you to drink more water. And then excretion of water or urine from the bladder. Another general function of the urinary system is to detoxify the blood, and one way you can do that is you can secrete free radicals and drugs into the urine, and then when you go to the bathroom you excrete those free radicals and drugs. Free radicals are basically just molecules that have a free electron on them, and they can free electrons need to be paired. If the electrons are free, then they can do damage to the cells. When we do acid-base balance, we'll talk more about this, but with the lungs, the kidney can regulate the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the acid-base balance in the blood. And when you read this bullet or listen to me talk about this bullet, I hope you automatically have this formula in your mind. Sorry that didn't come out in one line, but this is our carbonic acid bicarbonate formula. So it's saying carbon dioxide plus water yields carbonic acid, that's H2CO3, and then carbonic acid can dissociate into free hydrogen ion, that's H+, plus bicarbonate ion, that's HCO3. So with the lungs, your acid-base balance, which is pH, so if you remember with pH, if you have a high free hydrogen ion concentration in your blood, the pH is low. If you have a low free hydrogen ion concentration in your blood, the pH is high. So if you look at this formula, the carbonic acid bicarb formula, you can see that it can go either way. And because it can go either way, you can regulate the amount of free hydrogen ion in your blood. So the way the kidney can regulate the carbonic acid bicarb equilibrium or formula is by excreting or keeping free hydrogen ion, and also by excreting in the urine or keeping bicarb in the blood. So we'll talk a lot more about how the kidneys do this regulation of the carbonic acid bicarb formula when we talk about acid base. So we talked about this at the beginning. The urinary system is to make urine in the kidneys and then transport urine via the two ureters, and two ureters that take urine to the urinary bladder, and then from the urinary bladder there's one urethra that excretes urine to the environment. So mostly the urethra, that's the tube going from the bladder to the external environment, mostly the urethra is under voluntary control, and also in males the urethra is a shared passageway for reproductive function, so that is the ejaculate and the sperm.